So what I've got here is a 2.7 liter 911 engine. I'm going to remove the, well, I've removed it from the car because it has a rod knock. So now I'm going to take the engine apart and see if that's what it actually is, or maybe it's a valve rattle or something. But I'm going to find out. I'm going to tear it down and show you the whole process. So before you remove your flywheel, you want to make sure that if your clutch has already been balanced, your pressure plate and flywheel have already been balanced, that you mark it, or if it's not already marked. So one way you can do it is just to use a punch and knock a little dent here and then a little dent over here, and then you know where to line those things up when the time comes to put it back together. Now I can find those. So before I start fully dismantling this engine, I'm going to check the cam timing to find out what's actually in the engine. This is a great idea. I'll tell you, for me, one time I took an engine apart and then found out it had some aftermarket cam grind on it, and the company had gone out of business, and I could not find cam timing information on it. So it's a really good idea to find out how they're timed before you take it apart. Then at least you know, presumably it ran in this configuration at some point. I know exactly what's in this engine, but I'm just going to go through the process to show you how it's done before you take the engine apart. When you're taking an engine apart, Ziploc baggies are your best buddy. I just save old ones from sandwiches and stuff like that, and stick them in a bag in the garage, and then when I need them, I don't really care if they're all, I clean them out so they don't have jelly in them or whatever, but a decently clean Ziploc bag, you throw some nuts into it, and then you label it, and then you know what it's for when you put the engine back together. I usually, when I go to put the engine back together, I'll spray some Simple Green down in there and, wash them out and get all the nastiest stuff off of it, and then clean it off with a rag. And then you've got some reasonably decently clean bolts to put back together. So in this case, I'm going to label this for the cam covers. I have another bag that's for the fan shroud, and one that's for the exhaust components. And each one gets labeled. Well, despite having drained out the oil and out of the engine and the oil tank, when I turned the engine over, a bunch of oil came out the side onto the floor. Fortunately, I had a bucket underneath, but some of it on the floor, and it continues to drip on out, as you can see. But that's why I do this on a piece of cardboard and keep a bucket underneath. It's possible that all this bore scratching is what I'm hearing, or what I was hearing when the engine was running. I'm not real sure, but it's certainly a problem. It's certainly not a good thing that all that, I mean, this is really scratched up. And the top doesn't appear to be, but I saw that on the other side too, so these pistons are probably junk. But we'll pull them off and see. These are Ross racing pistons, and these clips that they use are called spiral locks. So you have to kind of dig a pick down underneath of them, and then pry out one corner, and then sort of pull it out bit by bit. You know, pull on one end of it and spiral it out. There's two on each side, so I'll need to go through that. I'm not going to really show you because it's kind of tedious, and getting the camera in there is pretty difficult. Well, I was hoping to find that this was just the pistons slapping around, but that rattling sound, I'm pretty sure, is a rod. Listen. Now see, when I do this one, no movement. No movement, no noise. So it's the number 5 cylinder, has a spun or destroyed rod bearing. So, got to pull the bottom end apart now. Well, that concludes my diagnosis of both bad rod bearing and bad pistons and cylinders. Oh yay! Check back in my next video where I'm going to open the engine case, get the crankshaft fixed, and work on my pistons and cylinders. Thanks for watching.